Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to read a story from our New Radiant Reader book, chapter number 10, The Story of Arjuna 1. So this story is divided into two parts, and today we are going to read the first as well as the second together, okay? So let's start. Chapter number 10, The Arjuna of Story, part 1 first, okay? So long ago, there lived in India a little prince called Arjuna. Okay, who is Arjuna? We'll come to know later on. When his father died, he and his brothers went to live with their grandfather Bhishma and their cousins. When his father died, he and Arjuna and his brothers went to live with their grandfathers Bhishma along with their cousins. Okay, and Bhishma was a very good and wise man and was very kind to the children. Sometimes the boys were very naughty and troublesome, okay, and could not be easily controlled. The grandfather would say to himself, I wish I could find a wise teacher for these children. I like to have someone who will help me to bring them up as good prince and teach them the right values of life. Next paragraph. One day the boys went to a forest nearby to play. They had a great fun throwing the ball high up in the air and trying to catch it as it came down. Suddenly, because of a bad throw by one of them, the ball fell into a deep well. Now what shall we do? Some of the boys asked helplessly. The ball is lost, and we have no other ball to play with, little Arjuna. He said that. Who was looking around suddenly cried. He shouted and said, there is a Brahmin sitting near the tree over there. Maybe he can help us. Perhaps he may be able to help us. The holy man smiled and the boys ran up to him with their problem. What poor aim you must be, having to send a ball down such a big well, he remarked. Okay, he said. But don't worry, I shall help you if you promise to give me your dinner. Give you our dinner? Cried the prince. All the prince, they shouted together. Cried means shout, okay? They shouted together. Give our dinner to you? You will have much more than that. Why are you asking dinner from us? Then after that they said, you must come to home with us and our grandfather. When that old man said to them that, okay, I'm ready, I shall help you if you promise to give me your dinner. Then they shouted all together, give you our dinner. Then if you could help us, you will get more than that. Not only dinner, you will get more than that. Okay, you must come home with us, and our grandfather, the great Bhishma, will reward you handsomely. Next paragraph. Very well, said the holy man. Now watch what I do. First he took up his ring, okay, as you can see here in a picture. He took up his ring and threw into the well. Then he plucked a blade of coarse grass. I'll show you the picture. This is a picture of a blade of coarse grass, okay. Then he plucked one of it and taking aim, he sent it flying swift and straight as an arrow into the well. All the boys ran to peer, okay, inside the well. They saw that the point of a blade of grass had burst, okay. First means hole the ball. Then he plucked another plant, okay, and taking aim as before, sent this one flying in the same way into the well. The children saw with surprise that the second blade had burst another hole, the top of the first one. Again and again the holy man threw a blade of grass and everything in burst the blade below it, so that they all stood one on top of the other, forming a long chain. Then he asked little Arjuna to pull up the chain. The boy did so quickly, and there at the bottom of the chain was the ball they had lost. So the Brahmin formed a chain of coarse grass and then throwing it into the well, that encircling the ball and got it out of the well. Now I shall get my ring, said the old man. Pulling another blade of grass, he sent it flying into the well as before. Within a short time, up it came with the ring encircling it. So the prince were very much impressed with what they had seen. What is your name, sir? They asked him respectfully. And he replied, My name is Drona, said the holy man. Go now and tell your grandfather that I am here. How quickly the little prince ran home to the palace to spread the news about the wonderful things they had seen in the forest. This Brahmin must be the wise man I have been waiting for, said Bisma to himself. I have heard many stories about him and his wisdom. He will come to live in my household and teach the boys many useful things above all. They must learn to aim well and shoot straight as prince should do. Let's proceed to the next part. Let's continue with the part 2. When Drona, the holy man, came to live in Bhisma's palace, he taught the young prince many things. They learned a great deal watching his skill with his arrow and listening to his sound advice. Drona loved all his pupils. Pupil means his students, okay? But his favorite was little Prince Arjuna. One day, the holy man said he was going to give his pupils a test in shooting. He placed a toy bird on the branch of a tree. He then told each boy to take his bow and arrow and be ready to shoot at the head of the bird. The first prince came forward and took aim. What do you see, little prince? Asked the holy man. Okay, so the holy man gave a test of shooting the toy bird which was placed on the branch of the tree. Then the first prince came forward and took aim. Then Drona asked to him, What do you see? Then he replied, I see many things, said the boy. I see you, sir, and my brothers and cousins, and the tree and the bird. The Brahmin sighed, like long breath, okay? Stand back, my son, he said sadly. You are not yet ready to shoot. The second prince came forward and took aim. What do you see? He asked the same question. I too see many things, said the boy, okay? I see you, sir, and my brothers, my cousins, and the tree and the bird. He replied the same. He gave him the same answer. The Brahmin sighed again. He took like that long breath, okay? Stand back, my son, he said sadly. You are not ready to shoot. One after another, boys came forward and each gave the holy man the same answer. They could see many things. At last, it was little Arjuna's turn. Tell me, what do you see, little prince? Said Drona. I see only the bird, said Arjuna. He gave reply, I see only the bird. Okay? Then, shoot then, my son, said the holy man in a voice trembling with emotion. Okay, shaking voice with emotion. Then, Arjuna's arrow was swift and straight in first the head of the toy bird and sent it falling to the ground. As you can see here in the picture, when Arjun replied to Drona that I can see only the bird, then he got very emotion, okay, out of joy. He said that, okay, now you are ready. Shoot then, my son. Then Arjuna's arrow was swift and goes straight again, make hole first, attacked on the head of the toy bird and sent it falling to the ground. So let us understand that the Drona trembled with emotion when he heard Arjuna's reply. When he heard Arjuna's reply, because that was the correct reply of his question, and understood that little Arjuna had learned the lesson of shooting fully. Okay, Arjuna was successfully with his shoot by concentrating fully on his target and by being blind to all else. So, a happy, the last stanza, last paragraph, a happy smile came to Drona's face. Only you, little prince, have learned my wisdom, he said. A man who has to shoot straight and swift and sure must keep his eye only on the target and be blind to all else. Arjuna and his brothers and cousins did not forget the wisdom of the Brahmin when they grew up. The prince were were so skilled with the bow, okay, that people came from far and near to see them shoot. The cleverest of them all was, of course, Prince Arjuna. Drona wanted to Drona wanted to teach the prince the lesson of the total concentration at the target and being blind to all else. And people came from distant places to see the prince to shoot because they had become very famous and skillful archers. So the part 1 and part 2 is ended up here. So as you have got already notes, read all the notes, fill in the blanks, whatever, nicely so that you can prepare well for the final exam. Till then, take care. Thank you very much.